She's graced the silver screen for decades, captivating audiences with her charm, strength, and unforgettable roles. But in 2025, Sandra Bullock's story goes far beyond Hollywood. After stepping back from the spotlight, her life has taken a new turn, one filled with love, family, and quiet luxury. With a new husband by her side, 2 children growing up fast, and a stunning portfolio of homes and high-end cars, Bullock's lifestyle is a masterclass in elegance and intentional living. So what does life look like now for America's sweetheart? Sandra Bullock didn't just become a Hollywood star. She carved her way into icon status with quiet grit, charm, and the kind of versatility that makes staying power look effortless. That changed in 1993, when she held her own opposite action giants, Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes, in Demolition Man. Suddenly, directors took notice. And then came 1994. Speed was the game-changer, paired with Keanu Reeves in this ticking time bomb. Of a blockbuster, Bullock wasn't just the female lead, she was the heartbeat of the movie. Audiences connected with her instantly. She was funny, grounded, and magnetic in a way that made her seem like someone you already knew. The film exploded at the box office with over $350 million in global revenue. And just like that, Sandra Bullock became a household name. She proved her comedic chops in While You Were Sleeping, tugged heartstrings in A Time to Kill, and showed her dramatic depth in 28 Days. She gave us awkward charm in Miss Congeniality, southern grit in The Blind Side, and emotional nuance in Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. As an executive producer on the sitcom George Lopez, Bullock played a key role in bringing underrepresented voices into mainstream television, and even popped in now and then in a recurring guest role. With a net worth of $250 million and a filmography that blends box office hits with critical darlings, Sandra Bullock has become one of the most bankable and beloved figures in Hollywood. Sandra Annette Bullock didn't just grow up destined for stardom. She grew up with a foot in 2 worlds, blending discipline with artistry in a way that would later define her career. Born on July 26, 1964, in Arlington, Virginia, Sandra was the daughter of a uniquely international pair. Her father, John W. Bullock, was an American Army employee and voice coach, while her mother, Helga Matilda Meyer, was a German opera singer, with a voice that could fill cathedrals. Her early childhood unfolded not in the glow of Hollywood, but in the cultural richness of Europe. She sang in choirs in Nuremberg, immersed in the operatic traditions of her mother's world, while her father managed the Army's military postal service in Germany. It was in that world, between Vienna, Salzburg, and Nuremberg, that Sandra absorbed the poise of classical performance and the discipline of military life. Her parents had met in that very environment, a love story wrapped in music and movement. By the time she was around 12, the family returned to the United States, settling back in Arlington, Virginia, where John Bullock took a new post as a contractor for the Pentagon. Stateside, Sandra morphed into the all-American teen, cheerleader, performer, and stage enthusiast at Washington Lee High School. There, her early taste for the spotlight started to sharpen into something more than a hobby. She was already a scene stealer in school plays, blending European flair with American charm. After graduating in 1982, Bullock continued chasing the stage lights to East Carolina University in Greenville, North Carolina, where she earned her BFA in drama in 1987. It wasn't instant fame. There were still years of auditions, setbacks, and small roles ahead. But her journey was never about shortcuts. Sandra Bullock, even then, was building a foundation strong enough to carry the career that was waiting just around the corner. After earning her drama degree and chasing down the dream with relentless grit, Sandra Bullock packed her bags and landed in New York City, the spiritual proving ground for so many aspiring actors. It wasn't glamorous at first. She waited tables, mixed drinks, and checked coats, juggling odd jobs while chasing auditions and immersing herself in acting classes. Among her mentors was the revered Sanford Meisner, known for his no-nonsense approach and emphasis on truth in performance. Bullock soaked it all in, building her toolkit one emotional exercise at a time. Her break didn't come overnight, but, when it did, it stemmed not from a blockbuster or a big studio connection, but from a director's sharp eye during an off-Broadway play. Alan J. Levi saw something magnetic in Bullock's performance and offered her a role in the 1989 TV movie Bionic Showdown, The $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman. It wasn't Shakespeare, but it cracked the door open. From there, Bullock gained traction with a string of small roles in TV films and lesser-known projects, including a short-lived stint as the lead in NBC's adaptation of Working Girl in 1990. It wasn't until 1993, however, that things really started moving. Cast alongside Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes in the futuristic action romp Demolition Man, Bullock began drawing the kind of notice that would change everything. And then came Speed. In 1994, Bullock starred opposite Keanu Reeves as the gutsy, quick-witted Annie Porter, the woman behind the wheel of a bus that couldn't slow down. The film detonated at the box office with a global take of $350.4 million, and so did Bullock's career. Practically overnight, she went from promising newcomer to bankable A-lister. With her star power rising fast, Bullock capitalized on the momentum with a string of hits that showcased her range. In While You Were Sleeping, she captured hearts as a lonely transit worker, earning both $182 million at the box office and a Golden Globe nomination. In the legal drama A Time to Kill, she brought fire to the screen alongside Matthew McConaughey, as the film brought in $152.2 million. Audiences loved her in Miss Congeniality, where she balanced beauty pageant satire with slapstick charm to the tune of $227 million. She followed that with the romantic comedy 2 Weeks' Notice, sharing the screen with Hugh Grant in a film that pulled in $199 million worldwide. Not all her projects were flawless victories. In 1995, she starred in The Net, where she played a tech-savvy loner caught in a digital conspiracy. A performance that critics praised and audiences rewarded with $110.6 million in U.S. ticket sales. But in 1997's Speed 2: Cruise Control, she reprised her role as Annie Porter on a cruise ship, with a ticking clock and sinking reviews. Bullock later admitted she regretted doing the sequel. Still, she rebounded with Hope Floats in 1998, a romantic drama she not only starred in but produced, earning $81.4 million despite mixed reviews. That same year, she co-starred with Nicole Kidman in Practical Magic. Though initially a box office disappointment, the film slowly brewed a cult following over the years, proving that even Sandra Bullock's flops had a way of sticking around. By the mid-2000s, after years of comedies, thrillers, and dramas, Bullock stunned critics with her raw, layered performance in Crash, 2005. The ensemble drama tackled issues of race, privilege, and humanity with unflinching intensity and won 3 Academy Awards, solidifying her as a serious dramatic force. But 2009 was the year Sandra Bullock did something rare. She conquered both critical acclaim and box office gold in the same breath. That year, she transformed into Lee Ann Tuohy in The Blind Side, a role that brought grit, grace, and an unforgettable Southern accent to the big screen. The film stormed the global box office with $309 million in earnings and swept Bullock into a season of awards, earning her a Golden Globe, a Screen Actors Guild Award, and the coveted Academy Award for Best Actress. She didn't stop there. That same year, Bullock flexed her romantic comedy chops again, this time alongside Ryan Reynolds in The Proposal. Their chemistry lit up theaters and helped the film rake in $317 million globally. In 1 year, she'd become both the queen of rom-coms and a respected Oscar winner, 2 titles rarely worn at once. By 2013, she was back, this time in space. In Alfonso Cuarón's visually groundbreaking thriller, Gravity, Bullock played Dr. Ryan Stone, a medical engineer caught in the terrifying silence of orbit. Her solo-heavy performance anchored the film emotionally and physically, earning her another Academy Award nomination. Audiences were just as captivated, pushing Gravity to a staggering $716 million worldwide. But Sandra Bullock's most commercially successful film didn't require a spacesuit or an Oscar-worthy monologue. In 2015, she lent her voice to the villainous Scarlet Overkill in Minions, the animated sensation that steamrolled past the billion-dollar mark with $1.1 billion globally. A voice role, yes, but it proved that, even off-camera, Bullock's star power was undeniable. In 2018, she shifted again, this time to the digital frontier. Netflix's Bird Box turned into a cultural phenomenon, with blindfold challenges flooding social media and record-breaking viewership. It became the most-watched Netflix movie in its first 28 days, until 2021. Her performance as a mother navigating a post-apocalyptic world drew praise for its emotional urgency and edge-of-your-seat tension. In 2021, she returned to the platform with The Unforgivable, a gritty drama that once again showcased her range. Then came 2022, and with it, another notch in her cinematic belt. She starred opposite Channing Tatum and Daniel Radcliffe in The Lost City, a rollicking action-adventure rom-com that hauled in over $190 million globally. That milestone made Bullock the first actress to star in 100 million grossing live-action films across 4 separate decades. As if that weren't enough, she teamed up with Brad Pitt in Bullet Train later that same year, proving once again that she's just as comfortable trading witty banter as she is dodging high-speed assassins. Beyond acting, Bullock's been busy shaping stories from behind the scenes. Through her production company, Fortis Films, she's been the steady hand behind various projects, including executive producing the hit ABC sitcom George Lopez. Her eye for talent and storytelling extended far beyond her own roles, helping to reshape the television landscape with a groundbreaking Latino-led show. Tucked away in one of Beverly Hills' most prestigious and private enclaves, Sandra Bullock's Tudor-style mansion is nothing short of cinematic. Purchased in 2011 for a cool $22.95 million, the estate is grand in every sense, yet it carries the elegance and subtlety that Bullock herself is known for. Sitting on over 4 sprawling acres, the home feels like a secret garden hidden in the hills, where old Hollywood charm meets refined modern comfort. Approaching the property, the first thing you notice is the serenity. A sweeping park-like lawn stretches across the estate, framed by mature trees and manicured hedges, all meticulously maintained to preserve its natural elegance. The sheer scale of the grounds is impressive, not overwhelming or ostentatious, but peaceful and beautifully balanced. It feels more like an English countryside retreat than a Los Angeles estate, yet from many vantage points, the home offers sweeping views of the city skyline and even the Pacific Ocean beyond. Built in 1940, the main residence retains its classic Tudor bones, with peaked gables, wood detailing, and ivy climbing its soft stone walls. Despite its historical architecture, the interior is anything but dated. It's warm, welcoming, and infused with contemporary luxury. The design reflects Bullock's signature aesthetic: understated sophistication, layered with texture, personality, and quiet confidence. Inside, the home is expansive yet intimate, with 5 spacious bedrooms and 7 bathrooms, all thoughtfully laid out. Each space feels intentionally designed, from the formal living room with its grand fireplace to the cozy corners where natural light filters through leaded glass windows. The home's flow moves effortlessly from polished wood floors to plush rugs, from high ceilings with exposed beams to carefully curated lighting that gives every room its own sense of presence. One of the standout features of the home is the private library, a space that feels pulled from a film set, rich with dark wood, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, and an atmosphere that invites solitude and thought. It's easy to imagine Bullock curling up with a script or a good book here, surrounded by the quiet hush of timeless design. A state-of-the-art screening room adds a touch of Hollywood glamour, making the home ideal not just for unwinding but for entertaining as well. It's a place where Bullock could host an intimate premiere or simply catch a film with close friends, complete with plush seating and perfectly calibrated acoustics. And for those who prefer a more casual gathering space, the basement provides another layer of escape, a more relaxed, multi-purpose area that keeps the luxury grounded. Step outside and the estate continues to dazzle. The backyard is an invitation to slow down and savor. The swimming pool, flanked by elegant stone decking and lush greenery, feels like a resort in its own right. A charming pool house adds convenience and privacy, perfect for hosting guests or just enjoying a peaceful afternoon away from the main house. Nearby, a detached screening room offers an outdoor-indoor hybrid entertainment experience, ideal for summer nights and private gatherings. Under the stars, what sets this home apart isn't just its size or location, it's the way it manages to be both magnificent and deeply personal. Every corner of the property feels intentional. Every detail serves a purpose. There's no excess for the sake of excess. It's luxurious without being loud, grand without being cold, and sophisticated without trying too hard. It's a home where legacy and comfort live side by side. Sandra Bullock's real estate portfolio reads like a curated travel itinerary through the most beautiful corners of America, each property offering a distinct lifestyle and aesthetic, yet all sharing her unmistakable taste for elegance, charm, and thoughtful design. From the rugged tranquility of Wyoming's mountains to the architectural grace of Manhattan's townhouses and the haunting romance of a New Orleans Victorian, Bullock has created a series of private sanctuaries that reflect both who she is and what she values. Nestled in the heart of Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Bullock's mountain retreat sprawls across 5 peaceful acres, offering a level of privacy and connection to nature that seems a world away from the red carpets of Hollywood. It's not just a home, it's an escape, where pine-scented air fills the lungs and the jagged peaks of the Tetons cut sharply into the sky. The retreat isn't ostentatious. Instead, it embraces the rugged spirit of the West. The architecture leans into rustic sophistication, blending wood, stone, and large windows that bring the wild beauty indoors. Whether she's relaxing in front of a roaring fireplace after a snowfall, or enjoying quiet mornings on a porch that overlooks untouched landscape, this retreat is where life slows down and the world becomes still. In stark contrast, but no less captivating, is her sleek $4 million townhouse in Manhattan. It stands like a discreet jewel among the dense rhythm of the city, a quiet refuge carved out of the constant hum of New York life. The townhouse offers modern luxury dressed in timeless design, tall ceilings, expansive windows, and clean lines that allow light to dance across every room. It's a home designed for comfort and function, tucked away from the noise, yet within walking distance to culture, cuisine, and creativity. It's easy to picture Bullock enjoying a low-key evening here, a glass of wine in hand, as the city sparkles outside and life carries on just beyond her windows. But perhaps the crown jewel of her collection, and certainly the most storied, is her $3 million mansion in New Orleans, the historic Coke Maze house. Built in the 1860s, this Victorian stunner stands as a piece of living history in the city's prestigious garden district. With 6,615 square feet of space, it feels more like a southern dream than just another celebrity home. From the outside, the mansion commands attention with its grand columns and stately facade, wrapped in wrought iron balconies and shaded by towering oaks that whisper of centuries past. Inside, the house reveals its richly detailed soul. Ornate, chandeliers drip from high ceilings, casting warm light over rooms lined with antique molding and regal marble mantels. The architectural craftsmanship is meticulous. Every door frame, cornice, and floorboard tells a story of time and tradition. 5 bedrooms offer ample space for guests, while the 4.5 bathrooms blend vintage charm with modern convenience. Yet despite its size and grandeur, the home maintains a deep sense of intimacy. It's not just a showpiece, it's a place to gather, to reflect, to live. Beyond the interiors, the estate unfolds into a lush, expansive outdoor space. A massive lawn invites barefoot afternoons or garden parties beneath the Louisiana sun, while the swimming pool offers a cool sanctuary from the southern heat. A sizable motor court ensures there's always room for family and friends to arrive. In comfort and style, completing the picture of a home built not just to be admired, but to be lived in and loved. With an estimated net worth of $250 million, she certainly has room to indulge, but it's clear that every vehicle she owns is chosen with purpose. Starting on the more eco-conscious end of the spectrum, Sandra owns a 2010 Toyota Prius Fitter. It might not turn heads like a supercar, but it makes a bold statement in its own right. That luxury doesn't always mean excess. Priced around $28,000, this hybrid runs on a 1.8-liter inline-4 electric engine, producing a modest 134 horsepower. Perfect for someone who's environmentally aware and doesn't need to announce their arrival. Quiet, efficient, and reliable, the Prius FIV is the kind of car that gets you where you need to go without fuss or fuel guilt. It's the smart choice, and that alone makes it a power move in disguise. From there, things shift up a gear with her. 2007 Audi A6 Avant Wagon Quattro. This $48,000 European wagon is all about understated elegance. With its clean lines and all-wheel drive performance, it's the automotive equivalent of a well-tailored blazer. Classy, comfortable, and quietly commanding. Powered by a 3.2-liter V6 engine delivering 245 horsepower, the A6 Avant moves with a smooth confidence, offering room for 5 passengers and a sense of grounded sophistication. It's a car for someone who appreciates refinement without the need to show off. But Bullock doesn't just dwell in sedans and hybrids. Her garage has plenty of muscle in the form of high-end SUVs. Take the 2019 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450 4MATIC. This isn't just a vehicle, it's a mobile suite. With a price tag of $71,000, it brings luxury to every mile. The twin-turbo V6 under the hood churns out 362 horsepower, and with a 9-speed transmission, it glides from 0 to 60 in under 6.5 seconds. Spacious, stylish, and full of tech, this SUV fits perfectly with the image of a star who moves gracefully between red carpets and quiet family getaways. That theme of powerful practicality continues with her 2020 Lincoln Navigator STD 4X2, a behemoth that's ready for any cross-country adventure. At $77,000, this American icon offers a monstrous 450 horsepower thanks to its 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 engine, moving from 0 to 60 mph in under 6 seconds. It's not just fast, it's cavernous, comfortable, and unapologetically bold. Whether she's chauffeuring her family or hitting the road solo, this SUV offers the space and swagger to do it all in stride. When she needs something that blends off-road grit with city polish, Bullock reaches for her 2015 Land Rover Range Rover 4WD HSE. A staple in Hollywood garages, this SUV earns its place with the ability to cruise Rodeo Drive one day and tackle backcountry trails the next. With a supercharged V6 delivering 340 horsepower and a top speed of 162 km/h, the Range Rover HSE is a beautifully balanced contradiction, luxury with dirt under its nails. And then we arrive at the crown jewel, the 2016 Porsche Panamera HB Turbo. This $142,000 super sedan is the fastest in her lineup, hitting 170 mph thanks to its 4.8-liter twin-turbo V8 engine, producing 520 horsepower and 516 lb-ft of torque. The Panamera is a high-performance machine disguised in executive clothing. It's a vehicle that screams precision and control, just like Bullock's on-screen presence. And with a manual transmission, keeping her connected to every shift and surge, it's the kind of ride for someone who wants to feel every moment behind the wheel. Sandra Bullock's car collection isn't a garage of status symbols. It's a carefully curated mix of intelligence, performance, and elegance. Bullock didn't stop at films and television. Her entrepreneurial energy spilled into the streets of Austin, quite literally. In 2006, she opened a cozy little bistro named Bess on West 6th Street, a tucked-away spot with an elegant vibe that quickly became a local favorite. Right across the street, she brought another vision to life. Walton's Fancy and Staple. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill cafe. Walton's was a one-stop shop combining a bakery, restaurant, flower shop, and event planning service under one beautifully restored roof. Although Bess Bistro eventually closed its doors in 2015 after nearly a decade, Walton's lives on as a reflection of Bullock's eclectic tastes and love for revitalizing spaces. Just as she's shaped the entertainment and culinary worlds, Sandra Bullock has left an indelible mark through philanthropy, often quietly, but with unmistakable impact. Time and again, she's stepped up in moments of crisis, donating $1 million to the American Red Cross at least 5 separate times. Her generosity started publicly with a donation to the Liberty Disaster Relief Fund, followed by aid for survivors of the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, the 2010 Haiti earthquake, the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami, and Hurricane Harvey in 2017, which hit her adopted home state of Texas especially hard. But it's not all about writing checks. Bullock has used her platform to push for change. In 2010, she joined other public figures in calling for a cleanup of the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, urging environmental accountability. Her hands-on support extended to post-Katrina New Orleans, where she helped fund and restore Warren Easton High School. For her dedication, she was inducted into the school's Hall of Fame and later honored with the Favorite Humanitarian Award at the People's Choice Awards, a title that seemed tailor-made for her. Even her artistic side gets philanthropic. In 2014, Bullock designed Gravity Bear, a space-themed Paddington Bear statue inspired by her role in Gravity. It was part of the citywide Paddington Trail in London and later auctioned to benefit the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Perched at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich, the statue stood as a whimsical reminder that even Hollywood stars can channel their talents into something that brings joy and change. Sandra Bullock's journey is far more than a highlight reel of blockbuster hits. Sandra Bullock's life off-screen has been as dramatic, complex, and resilient as the roles she's portrayed on it, though often far less scripted. On a snowy night in December 2000, her private jet came skidding across a Wyoming runway during a blizzard, in what could have been a fatal disaster. The landing lights failed, the crew couldn't get them on, and visibility was near zero. But miraculously, Bullock and the 2 crew members walked away unscathed. Just 4 years later, another storm, this time legal, hit closer to home literally. In October 2004, she won a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the builder of her Lake Austin, Texas residence after the jury declared the property uninhabitable. The house was eventually torn down and rebuilt, but the experience added another layer to Bullock's image, a woman not afraid to fight for what's right. Danger followed her again in April 2008, when she and then-husband Jesse James were involved in a head-on collision with a drunk driver in Massachusetts while filming The Proposal. Though the crash was serious, both walked away without injury. If life was testing her, she was passing, barely flinching. In matters of the heart, Bullock has seen both romantic highs and heartbreak in full public view. In the early 90s, she was engaged to actor Tate Donovan, her co-star in Love Potion, No. 9. Their relationship lasted 3 years, and she later dated NFL star Troy Aikman and fellow actors Matthew McConaughey and Ryan Gosling, each high profile, each splashed across tabloids at one point or another. Then came Jesse James. They met in what seemed like a made-for-TV moment. Bullock arranged a surprise meeting between James and her 10-year-old godson as a Christmas gift. The gesture turned into a connection that led to marriage in July 2005. For a while, it seemed like the unconventional pairing worked. In 2009, the couple even fought for and won full custody of James's young daughter from his previous marriage. But in 2010, that picture cracked. In the wake of Bullock's Oscar win for The Blind Side, a scandal broke. Multiple women came forward claiming affairs with James. Bullock canceled her European press tour, and the carefully private actress suddenly became the centerpiece of public heartache. James issued a groveling public apology, calling himself the sole person to blame. He checked into rehab in a failed attempt to salvage their relationship. Bullock filed for divorce a month later, and by June 28, 2010, it was finalized. The cited reason: irreconcilable differences, classic Hollywood legalese masking very real pain. But from the ashes of that very public split came something profound. Sandra revealed that she had quietly adopted a baby boy from New Orleans in January 2010. Initially, she and James began the adoption process together. But following their separation, Bullock chose to proceed alone. Her son, Louis, became the emotional anchor she never saw coming. In 2015, she expanded her family once more, adopting a daughter, Layla, and introducing the world to her on the cover of People magazine. Both adoptions were handled with the utmost discretion and love, reflecting Bullock's deeply personal approach to motherhood. By 2015, she had found love again, this time with photographer Brian Randall. Quiet, grounded, and out of the spotlight, Randall seemed like the peaceful counterbalance to Bullock's high-profile life. Their relationship, while fiercely private, endured for nearly a decade. Tragically, Randall passed away in August 2023. From ALS, a loss Bullock grieved quietly, honoring the man who had become a father figure to her children. Sandra Bullock's real life, like many of her films, is filled with moments of light and darkness, survival and grace. From surviving a plane crash and legal battles, to heartbreak, love, and the transformative power of motherhood, she's lived a life that reads like a screenplay, but with far more authenticity. Through every high and low, she stayed true to herself, a rare feat in the fickle world of fame.